Hello, my name is Bigfoot, and this is Transport Fever. Today we are in the mountains, and it is snowing, and this is a random map, and I've not made a video in a long time, so this is strange, isn't it? Hearing me playing this game actually, and also just uploading a YouTube video. That's something which is quite strange. So what is this? I'm just gonna ramble very quickly. So basically I'm starting a new series because there's been a massive update which improves a lot of features in the game. For example, one of them, if we just go ahead and plop down, like for example my favourite station here, this is a 6th platform. You can now manually assign routes to specific platforms, which is great. So that overcomes one of my biggest hates in the game straight away already, and means that I can build up cities to handle so much more traffic, where I really couldn't do that before. A city would essentially get to a certain size and then that was it. So that is one great thing about this as well. Now there's lots of other little things as well, but honestly that one thing is just the biggest thing for me that made me like, I need to just start another series. So that's what I'm gonna do. In terms of not uploading in ages, I have a job, full-time app developer, and that takes up a lot of my time. As much as I would love to make YouTube videos daily and do YouTube full-time, I can't support myself financially. As a student I need the money, so I need to work. That's the bottom line. However, I am going to be uploading basically every 2 days or so a Transport Fever video going forward, and we're hopefully going to be able to do about maybe a 30 to 40 part series on this, so it's going to go for a few months at least. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the map, and then I guess we'll just get right into it. So this map here, this is a randomly generated map, and I'm not the biggest fan of random generated maps because one, I can't tie myself to that map. For example, the Scotland series, I talked a lot about Scotland. In the Grand Canyon series, that was great because it was something which I could refer to as well. Whereas random generated maps, I'm not the biggest fan of. However, this has got the best balance in terms of proportion of passengers, towns, hills, and also goods as well, which is very important. So that's why I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. It's got some challenges in terms of some mountainous terrain. It's also got some very flat terrain, and then it's also got some large bodies of water. One being here, and is this the only one? It might actually be the only one. So we've got a large body of water anyway, which is quite exciting. And there's so much we can do with this map, so I am very much looking forward to it. In terms of a lot of town names, I recognise one or two. Maidstone might be in England, or it's like Maidenstone is in England anyway. I mean, this is the first time I've honestly looked at this map. Doncaster definitely is, that's in Yorkshire, and then Kendal is in Northumbria, I think, or very close to the Scottish border, and then some of the town names I just do not recognise at all. But with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So it's just so strange playing again, it's so strange just commentating again. I have been playing a fair amount of games, but it's really been Overwatch, stuff that is really just not YouTubeable, I feel anyway. Overwatch, a bit of Rocket League, and that's pretty much about it. I've played a bit of Sim Airport here and there, but I just build a really nice airport and then sort of just stop, so it's usually like 1 6-hour session and then that's it. So I've really not played Transport Fever just because it was getting a bit boring for me. It was just, there was no new features, but there's a lot to go ahead and play with right now. So I'm playing on medium difficulty, which is very important to note, and this medium difficulty will... I don't think this is going to be that a difficult map actually, just looking at it, because we've got a lot of resources which are grouped together, a lot of towns which are grouped together, and we've also got... I mean, this is supposed to be unhilly, but I really reckon the terrain is actually quite flat. If saying that, look at that, it's really not, is it? Okay, that might present a little bit more of a challenge. What we're going to do though is we're going to start off by needing to make money, like we always do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just basically going to connect up multiple towns. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by looking at just the town populations and seeing, which one is it? This one, nope. This one here. Funnily enough, the one with the house, the building, and the industrial building. Kind of makes sense. Let's go by population and actually see what we've got to work with here. So I'm looking at this place called Hetton to be sort of my dubbed capital, like my Boulder, or like my Glasgow, Edinburgh, or I can't even remember my first series. I think it was Richmond in my first series was sort of my capital city. That series is, I mean, that came out when the game came out way back in December, so that just tells you how long ago it actually was. What else we got though? So Hetton, we've got Colburn, Maidstone isn't really up there though, which is unfortunate. Where is this place? It's over here. Oh, you can click and go to. Okay, so you're not really that central, this God Al Ming, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm just bad at pronunciation. I think we all know this by now, but I am pretty bad. This place here called Hamstead is not too bad either, but I think we're just going to honestly start off with Hetton, because one, I can say it, and two, it's a relatively decent sized town. So for those asking, I've got the snow mod on. This is basically a mod which just makes the map relatively snowy, and as you can see, it's a very basic mod, but it's something which I just wanted to try out, because I've not really seen too many snowy series before, and I think it looks quite well. When it originally came out, it wasn't that amazing, but now it actually textures really well with buildings, with roads, with vehicles, and when we get to railway lines, it does do that very well as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by really just doing some bus lines, to be honest, because that's the best way to make money, just to initially get you started. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build a bus station in here. I don't think I'm going to need that many platforms, so that's for sure. So I think we'll just need 4 to start off with, and now we basically just need some bus stops and some towns to connect up to. So I'm going to have to shorten this name because that's too long, so we're just going to call this Hampstead because why not? I think that's probably a better town name. There's a lot of towns I'm going to do that with. If I can't pronounce it or it's too long, it's getting shortened. You can guarantee it. The thing which I find quite strange as well is that there's like forests like there, for example, and then there is a sawmill right beside it, so I mean that is just waiting for me to go ahead and start getting that on the move, and that might be actually happening even in this episode. Again, I always go with passengers off the start, but I think I really need to change that, and especially because I'm playing on medium, so that means that one, I don't have a lot of money to start with, but two, the running costs are going to be a little bit higher. Then I do need to just, I guess, maximize short distances, and being a forest and a sawmill right beside each other, I think it's gonna be worth it. Okay, so we're gonna go up to Hamstead, definitely. And then in the other direction, it's kind of strange because you don't really connect to anywhere, do you? So I'm starting to think this maybe wasn't the best time to start off with. However, we can definitely go ahead and make some other things happen. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start off by building a road, which is probably going to cost me quite a lot of money, however I think it is necessary. And terrain alignment issues. That's one thing in general that actually have gone ahead and improved quite a bit, which is good. I'm not really at all sure why that wasn't working there. Probably my fault all in all. However, I think the terrain alignment now, you can get like roads and railway lines pretty much right beside each other and have steep embankments. You can do that now without having too many issues. If you do go onto the Steam workshop and actually look at the patch notes, some of the stuff is really good and really interesting to go ahead and read. And this road is surprisingly costing me a lot less than I thought, you know that, it really is. So we're just going to bring it along the coast here because I like this sort of coastal road. It still does that, which is annoying to say the least. I totally forgot about that actually, and again it's doing that there as well. I don't know if that's me just doing a weird click combination or something though to make that happen. I mean, that is kind of odd, but again it's doing it there too, so strange. Anyway, we're going to have you connect into about there, and then I'll probably upgrade this road because I want that to go to Telscombe, which I can pronounce that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have another road which comes up here to... There's no need for all this, so we'll go ahead and change this to just Burnham, because there's no need on... Was that Crouch? Strange, definitely not heard of that place at all. Don't even know if it's English, but we're just going to go ahead and shorten it. So with that done, we're going to go from here, which looks like a plastic factory, down and join this road. See, this is actually quite hilly to be honest. I mean, there's a nice wee groove here, I guess, which we can go ahead and work out of. And I think that is what we will do. So, I mean, that's only cost me 7,000. I think that's really good value. But we're going to continue up this hill, and I'm going to zoom out a bit to speed this process up. There's a nice wee just groove in there actually, which this road is just sitting in nicely. Again, too much curvature. I don't want that. I don't want that either. Can we get it? Third time lucky. Yep, there we go. And why? I just don't understand that, honestly, why it does that. But I'm not going to go into it too much, honestly, because I do like to moan. Then we'll just do to there, and then you should be able to join in about there, no problem, and that's you connected up nicely. So with that done, we can actually start some bus routes, which is exciting, because I really want to actually get used to these terminals. And there's also a new thing as well called waypoints, which we will go ahead and explore in this episode as well. So I want some buses to basically just serve all the parts of town, so we'll have a bus stop probably just here actually, then we'll have another one there and another one there, and that one will go up to Hampton, and then I want to have one at least coming around the back here, so these houses can get some bus services, and I reckon this town's going to grow quite quickly, so again I'm going to build on the edge there. And then we could possibly have another bus stop right there as well, serving, I guess, this street here, which should do the job no problem. Now I'm just going to jump up to the other towns and go ahead and I guess I'm going to have to pre-build 4 bus stations actually. I've not really thought this through, but at the same time, chances are I'm probably going to take out a loan anyway, so we should be okay. What I would really like to see is that go in there actually, because that will be a very central location. That's one thing which would be nice to change, but I realise it's a mod, is the sphere of influence is white, and so is the snow, so that's not the prettiest thing. And also the bus stations don't align with snow either, but if you would think about it, they would always be clearing bus stations anyway, because that's going to be, I guess, connecting hubs, so logical, not logical, I'm not at all sure, but the mod itself is actually really nice, and I really do like it. So along with this bus station, just get a few bus stops in here very quickly. So just probably going to have one probably about there, and that will do going up to Hampstead. Coming along here, this Burnham town, it isn't that large in all honesty, but I'm going to add in a bus stop there. I would like to probably have the bus station in about here as well. I'm just thinking actually, why don't we try some other bus stations, because all the bus stations essentially work now, which is great. So we're going to go for this one here. At the same time, I don't want to destroy that many buildings though, but it's probably going to happen. Oh no, there we go. That's only destroying 2 there. So this is probably my favourite looking, or, I mean, it's just a very rural bus station, I guess, if you will. I mean, it's very small, but it's got 2 lanes, and we can now actually use the terminal assignment to assign buses to 2 lanes, whereas before I would select this bus station and it would assign them all into the 1 lane. So I'm so glad we have options now. It's just, it's exciting. And that 1 bus stop I think should do for the time being. Tell you what, we'll actually add in another one just at this crossroad here. And there you go in there quite nicely. So that's that town pretty much set to go, and then, to be fair, we can have a bus coming over to Maidstone actually at the start here too. That road's going to be pretty busy, but we'll upgrade it quite quickly. This is quite a large town, this town actually. It's got an island, which, if you understand what I mean by that, there's no like dead ends in the middle here. It's all surrounded, which is quite nice to see. I can see this town needing a bigger bus station, so we're going to go for our... Well, we could always go with one of these. It's got grass. Now, see, that's something which I'm not really willing to do. I need to look on the marketplace, because I have honestly not been on the marketplace in, like, forever. I mean, I've not played this game, as I said, so I've not checked it in an insane amount of time, so there's been no need. And I can imagine there's probably quite a lot of new mods that come into the game since then. I also want to live stream. That's something, I kept on saying it before I'm going to live stream. I'm going to set it up after this recording, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and... I think I just go live at random times. Follow me on Twitter, that's the best thing to do. I've not been tweeting a lot recently just because of work, but if I'm starting to make videos again, then I am honestly just going to start using it again because it's really useful. Got rid of my Facebook page just because it was just automated and it wasn't getting me much. It wasn't really worth it, let's be honest, so I decided to remove that, and I just use Twitter. Most YouTubers use Twitter, so if you don't have Twitter for some reason, get it, because it will make your life much easier. Okay, so where are we? So, I just really don't need that many bus stops in here at all, do I? Put a bus stop right at this top there, and we'll put a bus stop out on the edge here. And with that done, we are ready to build about 5 or 6 bus routes, which is quite exciting. So if I can remember how to create routes, which I can, we're in Line Manager. I remember like the series we've done before, and I just see this list so full. It would be, you're talking maybe 100 routes on a map. It would be that insane. So it's nice to start off new because you can you can take experience from previous series as well, and just go ahead and I guess make the best, most efficient routes. Because when you get to a certain stage, it's usually just maintenance and adding more buses on and altering routes, which is something which I'm not the biggest fan of, to be honest. What you're going to be is you're going to be B for bus. We're going to continue to use the abbreviations, and then you're heading to Hampstead. What comes first? Hampstead comes first. So Hampstead to Heton. This is something I'm gonna have to get used to. It's just all the names again. I've just not done that in ages. Honestly, it's very strange indeed. Anyway, let's go ahead and connect you. You're gonna come out a slightly different way, and you're gonna be the bus that goes all the way up to. Gonna have you come over to Maidstone actually. So you're gonna come in via Park Avenue, New Street. I'm guessing the naming principles haven't changed because New Street is probably the most common street we'll have, and we'll have about 20 of them. At least 2 or 3 in each town as well, I'm sure, by the end of the series. And Main Street as well, yep, another absolute classic there. So this is going to be a B, and we are now going from Heton to Maidstone. Again, probably spelt a lot of this wrong, but oh well. So that's that route. All ready to go. Now we're gonna go from here, we're gonna go via this bus stop, which I need to upgrade to bus lanes quite promptly as well, and we're gonna stop there too at Queensway, and then we're gonna come up the hill here, and you're gonna come into the town of, what town is this? This is Burnham, okay, and School Lane, yeah, School Lane's another absolute classic, bringing them all back of course. So you're going to come back in via here, and again, like, Heton is going to be very busy very quickly, so we're probably going to have to upgrade the roads pronto. So you're going from Burnham to Heton, which works out quite nicely, and then finally we'll go ahead and build our 4th route as well. This particular road is going to be extremely busy to start off with actually. I never realised how busy it would be, but oh well. Let's do that, and let's do to that. So yeah, this stretch is going to be insanely busy. You're going to come along, but just at this T-junction, you come into this quite large town, so I can see us getting a lot of traffic on this, but I'll probably start off the same amount of buses and all the routes and just play off demand, like I have done previously. We're in 1950, so the buses that we have are a bit hit and miss, to be honest. I'm not really at all sure what buses we do have, and if they're even that good, to be honest, so we'll just have to wait and see. Right, heading to, this is Tycoon, I think is how you pronounce it, so heading, and we're going to abbreviate that to just, we'll just type it all out, Tycoon. I might change that name actually, because I already do not like it. So with that done, let's actually go ahead and see what we can get out of a depot, because I'm not really at all sure. Really, it doesn't take that long to get to I guess the current time, like 2017, and then you don't really get too many unlocks after that. I mean, most stuff is unlocked by the year 2000, so this is an exciting time, because after really 2020, you use the same stuff over and over again, and I think that's really where I guess I was getting a bit bored before. Let's go ahead and filter by passenger, and yeah, this is not pretty at all, is it? So, we have some not bad buses actually. I mean, it looks like 19-seaters are probably going to be our best bets here, and they are 230k, which isn't bad. I mean, I remember using these at Sour or 2 shares before in previous series, and they were always the go-tos, but I'm pretty sure I've picked up these on the workshop, and I just didn't use them, but this might be my time to use them. I mean, that's a name and a half. We'll call you the Nag 502, which is, I mean, it looks good enough. It's basically sort of 2 buses together, and we've also got a blue one, and we've got sort of a beige and red one there, which we can use also. So what I'm going to go for is, Probably just going to go for the blue ones, to be honest, and I'm just going to set them up on some of the different routes here. So what I want to do is not have them in black. However, I can remember a trick which I can use to go ahead and assign them to here. How do you set line? Yep, that's it. I'm honestly, I've not played this game in so long, so it's so strange just playing it. What I do want to do though is I should have recolored them there, eh? I need to select them all individually, go into details, go into color, go into that bright color, and then that's good to go. Same with this one, which is that color, and then I better not change the bus route color at this stage, by the way, because that would be a bit of a disaster. And you like that as well, so I can just really tell from an aerial point of view. And I've got a strong feeling I'm going to have to put a lot more buses out on the roads because the frequency is going to be incredibly low, especially going to a town far away. Let me reopen this. So I'm looking for yellow this time, and I'll put maybe 1, 2, 3 of you guys out there. And let's go ahead and put you on to the Hamstead line, and you guys are good to go. Next, we are going to go for the blue line, which I believe is the Tycoon line. So I'm going to put 4 buses on this just because Tycoon looks a bit bigger and it's also a further distance away. So I think this is quite logical. We've got a new plane, which is something that this map's quite big, so I can definitely see us getting a fair amount of air travel being used. The exciting thing about this map is that there's so many opportunities and there's so many towns and corners, which I didn't really have. Like the Grand Canyon, the towns and the corners were never that big. And then in Scotland was very much, it was so cramped together, I had like 1 successful route all in all, and I mean, you could classify it as not even being successful, to be honest. It didn't really click that well, to be honest. Then finally, I'll just buy 1, 2, 3 of these and set them onto the Maidstone line. I'll buy a 4th actually, because again, Maidstone is a bit further away, and that should be good to go. So we're serving quite a few towns here. I'm actually going to put the game onto ×3 speed as well, just to get these buses out of the local area and see how they perform. Their maintenance fees hopefully aren't too bad. That's something I didn't check. So yeah, 38,000 a year isn't that much, to be honest, and we hopefully should be able to get these routes into profit very, very quickly. Again, the frequencies are incredibly low though, so we're just going to have to see there. One thing I do need to check is the vehicle against, or the vehicle's top speed against the road's top speed. So that's 37 miles per hour, which is okay. Then if I grab my magic wands tool and I want to upgrade to medium country. So right now I think it's on small country, which is top speed of 37. I need to go to medium country, which will upgrade it to 50 miles per hour. So it's not actually going to have an effect on the bus itself. However, I think this is still a good thing to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and very quickly upgrade all the roads which navigate in between these towns. If I don't do it, it's going to happen in a relatively short amount of time anyway. And you also need to remember as well is that it's not a lot of money. I mean, that's 12,000, 8,000, 9,000. That whole stretch is fine. That whole stretch, I don't know why this stretch isn't, but there we go. So that will work fine into Burnham. And then this whole section, it needs to get done. The bridge might be, no, okay, I thought it may be a little bit more expensive, but it's not at all. Upgrade you, and that's you straight in it to Maidstone there. This road already is for some reason that, but that must be a major road. This town here looks quite large actually. Prince Roseborough. Again, I'm just going to rename that when I get to that town because there's no way I'm going to be able to say that very, very quickly. And then finally, I think we just need to do this road here, which again, a nice small amount of money, and we're good to go. So we're already starting to get people waiting at bus stops, which is nice to see. Some of them wanting to go one way. It actually tells you which way they want to go now. I mean, that's good as well. That's great. I don't know if that was in maybe a previous update because I've not played this game in so long, but I'm pretty sure it is new, so that is very handy. Maybe not on the buses, but at least on the trains, because the trains at stations, things can just get very, very messy at times. So with that done, I'm not really at all sure how long to do episodes for actually, to be honest. I'll make this one a little bit longer because I actually want to get some wood on the move. Unfortunately, this isn't getting used at all, which kind of is unfortunate, but what I am going to do is I'm going to have you guys all on different... What's going on here? Can we set you to Terminal 3? There we go. So you guys are all got your own terminals or platforms, whatever you want to call it. So that is very nice to see indeed. I'm really excited about that. Not that this will be busy right now, but coming down the line when we start to add in other forms of transport as well, then this is like trams. What I mean by that, it's gonna get, I think, very, very hectic. So, and very, very quickly. We're already seeing a lot of people in Hetton that start to use transport, and you're at only a 25%, and those buses are good. Those buses are very good, and I can remember that because I did upgrade to them. Not that I'll upgrade to them right now, but you can carry 25 already, so that's an upgrade of 6 passengers, which is nice to see. So it looks like we are getting quite a bit of use and quite a lot of people waiting, even here for example. 15 plus 8 want to go to Queensway, so I mean that's 23 people off the top of my head, so wonderful maths there, Callum, thank you very much. But we are starting to get some movement, which is good, and I mean, I've not broke bank. I know I'm going to have to take out a loan unless I play on ×3 speed for about 10 years, but I think it's a good start. So the next thing I want to do is products. So we're going to be making wood. You don't take wood directly, which is interesting. What do I need wood for? I'm pretty sure I need wood for goods. So we need to find ourselves a goods factory or somewhere that will take in wood. Do you take in wood? No, it's iron ore. Well, that's steel, yeah. Why would you have wood and steel? Right, this might actually be quite difficult because if we can get part of the cycle going, that's good, but I need sort of the full cycle to move, you know what I mean? What are you? You're iron, you're coal, and that's quite interesting because you take in both, and then you could produce me steel or you could produce me slag. And then can steel be exported? Neither of them can be exported straight to town, so that's the problem. So I'm a bit nervous about making a large chain effect straight away because it's a lot of money to go ahead and set these up. I just need to... What takes in wood? I mean plastic, but I don't have... That's to make... So I would need either steel or plastic to make products, and that's a lot of input, I feel. Though, in saying that, I don't know if there's any place which will produce me an item which just solely takes in one raw ingredient, if you understand what I'm saying. For example, if we wanted to make food, you only need one raw ingredient, which is either corn or cattle, and then you get food, and that can go straight to town. Whereas with wood, I don't think we can do that. Off the top of my head anyway, so that's maybe not the best place to start. I think probably the best place to start is with food. Well, we don't have the money, that is, because until we get the money, I'm just a bit nervous about it, if I'm totally honest with you. To be fair, we can take stone and make that straight to construction material, can't we? But stone's right there. We can move you over to there, and then construction material. You know what, I think we're going to do that to start us off, actually. And then you can also go via Colburn as well, and we can get a bus coming in from Maidenstone, so lots of opportunities here, which is good. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a little bit of a faster road anyway, because I just feel that this will be justified. We'll have you coming out of here. That's a lot of money, but you know what, we're going to go for it and then connect you into there. So I think the terraforming tools are just much better as well. That just looks... It looks just a bit better than it did before, and if I'm to use these, I mean, I think I've got free terraforming mod on, if I can remember correctly, which that Mercedes-Benz is a pretty good bus as well, from what I can remember. These terraforming, yeah, they haven't changed much to be fair, but they just look a bit smoother, and they would almost be a bit, when you were actually modifying the terrain, it just... Not glitch out, but it wouldn't look pretty as you were doing it, if you understand what I'm saying, so that looks quite a nice road up to there. So for construction materials, I need to get myself some basic depots. So if we go into freights here, and it's literally just going to be small, very, very small truck stations, actually, because this, I mean, we're not even going to be moving a lot of stuff, so you're going to go from there, and then you are going to go back into here. Now, I would like to probably have it start in like Maidstone, a town which is already connected up. But what I'm actually thinking is it's going to go over to Hetton, because Hetton is really not that far away. However, we need to get a road through here, and this might require a tunnel, which tunnels are expensive and are not my best friends by any means. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this bit by bit. This is why I don't build roads in the masses, because roads in the masses cost a lot. Then if we hug the hill, which we're sort of doing, and then if we bring not that at all, then if we bring, nope, not that, and if we, nope, not that, why are you doing that? I think it's maybe because the angle I'm looking at it actually, that, nope. What about now? Yep, there we go. So if I was to do something like that, one, it's causing a collision, but, yes, yeah, it's so cheap, so cheap, which is nice. So again, why does it, if someone can tell me why it does this, because it is just a tiny bit annoying. I'll give you that, tiny bit annoying. I think I can see the collision, to be honest, actually. So what we're gonna... No, I can't see the collision. You know what, I can't. I think it's because the terraforming here. So what we're... Nope. Why are you being so weird? I think I might need to upgrade this road first. I can't even do that. What is going on? I can upgrade you, fine. But then anything else I try to do, it's just not having it, is it? Which may cause me quite a lot of problems, unfortunately. Let me zoom in here, and if we can just upgrade, say, this section here, which I can do, then I'll just have to have the other road looping around, unfortunately. So we jump you into here, and then sort of just do that. Not the most elegant right now, but it will do, and then that should allow for vehicles to be able to get down to here nice and easy. The bridge, that's understandable if you're having some terrain issues, but that goes straight into town there, and then we'll make a depot beside the industrial buildings. So we've got our truck from the quarry. It's then going to arrive in here and make construction materials, and then we'll move stuff on. So what we're going to do is we just need a small truck station again. I keep hitting the wrong keys. I'm just not familiar to... Well, not WASD, I'm familiar to that, but it's just using this game's movement tools, which they're relatively good and they're relatively common, but it's just something, the R and the F key, these are the, till I use my mouse, I pinch my mouse, and for some reason it's just a bit R and F, I always hit that. I don't know if it's just because I use reload a lot when I'm playing like shooter games or that, but very odd indeed. Anyway, let's look at this town and see where we need, again, another good bus. That's, again, an extra extension. What year am I into? We're 5 years on already, you know that. And we actually made a profit last year too. Yeah, there we go. So we're doing quite well. So I think we'll have a look at the buses at the end of this episode anyway. Before I get distracted though, basically all the industrial is in one part of town. So you know what I'm logically going to do? I'm going to go ahead and put my truck depot. Gonna build a road just coming back here actually, and then have it coming in there, because I reckon this will get built around, and then we're gonna have we're gonna go for a large truck depot, because I just have a feeling that we're gonna probably be importing more stuff into here as time goes on, and we're gonna go ahead and start to see lots of commercial vehicles actually using the streets of Hetton. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be a bit rude, and I'm gonna leave you on a... It's not really a cliffhanger, is it? But I mean, you know what I'm saying. I'm going to leave you here, unfortunately. As much as I would like to do hour-long episodes, I feel it's always better to do shorter episodes, but on a more frequent basis. And for me, I don't have a lot of time right now. Unless you want to support me on Patreon and pay my rent, then I have to work. So the link is down below if you are willing to go ahead and help me out, because that would be great. But I do need to work, unfortunately. So I am going to leave it there for today, and roughly about 30-minute episodes, that is what I'm going to do. That's what I did previously, and is what I'll do probably into the future as well. I've really enjoyed coming back to this game actually, and I'm going to record the next about 2 or 3 episodes in a row right now, just because I'm really into this game, and then just give me some feedback, tell me what I should do, because this map is pretty enormous to be honest, and it's just endless possibilities. A lot of nice flat plains out here, which is quite nice as well. But I mean, the amount of towns I've got to connect up to, there's a lot. There's so much goods as well. So there's definitely going to be a lot going on in this map. We just need to go ahead and really choose where we start off with, and you can be the person to go ahead and choose that, because honestly I'm pretty much open to anything. Definitely starting to get a large build up here, so in the next episode as well I'm going to go ahead and have a look at upgrading some bus routes as well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like rating, honestly, it just tells me if people are engaged with the series and wanting to see more. And with that said, that is all for this video, ladies and gentlemen. So, my name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.